Hey guys, it's time for my weekly update. I don't have any new spinning to show you. I've been concentrating on gifts for Christmas and for a baby shower gift. So I'm gonna start with the finished objects. First, we have uh, a hat. This is for a Christmas present, and the yarn on the band is it's a turquoise color. It's showing up for you guys like a blue, but it's actually turquoise. It is some old yarn that I got from my estate sale on eBay, and this is the wrapper for it. So if it focus on you guys or not. So the color on the band is turquoise. The yarn right here is Universal Yarn Classic Shades, and it is 70% acrylic, 30% wool. It's machine washable, so it's probably a superwash wool blend, and the color is Lake, and that's color 707, lot number S856. And I love using this yarn. My scarf is made from this yarn. So that's the first finished project. The second finished project is a scarf, also a Christmas gift, and it's also made with the Universal yarns. So you get the range of the colors, and those blues are more of a purple. I don't know if you guys, it's not a blue, it's a purple. And the colorway for this yarn is called Foliage, so it's like a fall foliage kind of thing. So that's the second project that I finished. The third project I finished is a baby blanket, and it is a 12-point baby blanket. I don't know if you guys can see the pattern, but it has bobbles, and I put the bobbles in the yellow areas. So I have the bobbles here and I have the bobbles here. FYI, these bobbles are made using 5 triple crochet. This row of bobbles use 2/3 of a ball of yarn. Just the row of bobbles by itself. The yarns I used for this project, and I use a size H hook for this project, and it's Susan Bates. Those are the only hooks I like, are the Susan Bates hooks. I've tried using the wooden birch hooks made by, what is the name of it? I can't think of the name of it right now. I didn't like that. I tried using the Addy crochet hooks. I bought the whole set because someone said it was really good, and I didn't like the handles on them. So my daughter's daughter is supposed to be making me some polymer clay handles to go onto those hooks. It ain't happened yet, so who knows when that's gonna happen. But yeah, I prefer the Susan Bates hooks. I really do, over the boy hooks, style hooks. So yeah, so that's done. So that was the third finished project. Works in progress. First work in progress, I started in the car. Well, I started working on it again in the car. I had this much of it finished up till here. So this, from here to here, was doing the car trip, and that's what stopping and being nosy and looking. And then I got home and talking and So I didn't get a lot of work done on it, but I got about 2.5 inches more. No, that's more than 2 inches. How much is that? My measuring is off today. Let's see. Got almost 6 inches more added on to this blanket. And it's a 6-point star. It will work up rather quickly. And I'm going to finish it using this sage green, this dark sage green. And all of it except for this part, except for the red, this variegated, I don't even know what that variegated, I don't even know where I got it from. The variegated and this chocolate and cherries red, that's a Caron yarn. And I believe this was a Caron yarn too. It's a Neapolitan that they had out a couple of years ago. And the rest of it is a red heart. So as long as you keep the grist of your yarn, the yarn weight worsted, as long as you keep your yarn weights fairly close, you won't see any puckering and stuff. But like in that blue star blanket I did, you guys saw how it puckered because I was switching from sport to worsted, and so it puckered on me. So you can start with sport for your center, but then when you switch over to the worsted, you need to stay in worsted because if not, you're going to get a puckering effect. The other work in progress I have is this scarf. And the color for this one is Reef, which is stupid because this color should be foliage. Well, yeah. So I'm wondering if somebody swapped around the ball bands, but the ball band for the first one is also called Reef. So yeah. But it does, but it's kind of dark though. I guess you're looking at sea greens and stuff like that. So yeah. So those are my 2 works in progress. And the stitch I'm using because there were people asked on Facebook. Mel Hall did. She asked on Facebook about what stitch I was using. And the stitch I'm using is the bush stitch that I did a tutorial for here on YouTube. And so I'll post a link to the video for this particular stitch. And this pattern works out really well for not being able to, for a variegated color gradient yarn, because you get a nice warm pattern. It does have a little bit of lace design element to it. That's because I've been stretching it, because I did a video before this one and I was trying to show what it would look like if you wanted to block it out to look more airy and lacy. So I was showing how lacy it will look if you blocked it out. But if you don't block it out and you just leave it alone, then it's a fairly warm scarf pattern. I also use this pattern for baby blankets a lot because it's very fast. It works up quickly, but it just is a pattern that uses up. It's a wool. It will use up a lot of wool because you're doing 2 double crochet, chain 2 single crochet into each stitch across. So you will be using up a fair amount of yarn. So this scarf took 2 balls of the universal yarn, and this yarn is, I got it for $7.89 a ball. So that's $15.78 for these. That's without tax. With tax, it's like 94 cents. So it's 94. Tell me I did this video before. So that was $16.72 for both those balls of yarn. So there used to be, like, if you want to figure out how much you should sell something for, I know I'm like all bulked up because it's kind of chilly in here, so I got on some heavy clothes because I don't want to turn the heat all the way up because put some clothes on. That's what I'm saying. If it's cold, cooler in the house, put some clothes on. Why turn your heat up? It's 77 or 78 degrees. Put some clothes on. I don't understand the children that think they can walk around in the wintertime wearing shorts, no socks, no shoes, and a t-shirt in the house. Where I grew up at, my grandma had a kerosene stove. My grandma Lassie had a kerosene stove in the room. And the rest of the house didn't have no heat. She didn't have central heat. So you are hugged up around that stove and that kerosene stove in her room, and then that's when they got the portable kerosene heater, so then people could put a kerosene heater in their room. But they didn't have central heat, and you dressed warm for bed, and you had quilts and blankets over you, and you didn't get up unless you had to go to the bathroom. You absolutely had to go to the bathroom. You didn't get up till you had to get up. So that's how I grew up. So, I appreciate my central air and heat. This is a big house, and I believe in having an affordable electric bill. So you're gonna put some clothes on, okay? But yeah. So those are the projects I finished. Those are the projects I'm working on. Oh, sorry, but I plan on crocheting most of the Christmas gifts. With the exception of the other 2 hats, I'll be knitting those. Excuse me, but everything else will be crocheted. The berets and the hats and stuff will be crocheted, and then we'll go from there. Now we're going to talk about materials that I'm using for Christmas gifts. I'm using acrylic wool blend for the items for the females. Well, this one also has a little bit of acrylic wool blend, but it's mostly acrylic. But it's also superwash. So these items that I'm making for my family are items that they can wear all day, every day, anywhere they want to wear it to. And if they get it dirty, they can throw it in the wash machine, throw it in the dryer, and they're good to go. I do not make 100% wool products for family that I'm not there to supervise how they clean and they don't know about blocking and stuff like that. So why would I invest that money and that effort into a product that would get ruined the first time they try to clean it? So you need to think about the person that you're making something for, and then choose the type of material you're going to use. Don't see a color go, ooh, pretty. I'm going to make, so-and-so loves this color. I'm going to make this for them. And you buy 100% wool, pretty, and you make them that toboggan, and you go home and that person is a mechanic or something like that, or they're outside, working outside a lot, and they have that 100% wool hat on, and they got oil stains on it and stuff, or they got dirt all over it, and they tried to wash it and it shrunk, or it felted. If they try to wash it, more like it's gonna fail if it's not super washed. So then you're sitting there like, do you know how long it took me to knit that? Or do you know how long it took me to crochet that? Or do you know how much that wool costs? Now you're upset because you didn't think before you, how does it go? Before you saw your shinies. So when you are Christmas is coming. You have a year between Christmases. You have 11 months between each Christmas to decide and figure out what material you're going to use for that particular person's product, what that person's occupation is, how often that person is likely to wear that product, and choose wisely on the materials you're going to use to make that product. Just because I use red heart yarn for some of my products doesn't mean the same amount of time that can go into making that product. What it means is that my little brother, who works outside driving heavy equipment, dump trucks, backhoes, tractors, combines, you name it, he drives it and uses it. He can wear it for work, and I know he'll be nice and warm and toasty. And if he gets it dirty, when he comes home, he can throw it in the washing machine with the rest of his stuff and wash it. And it's good to go. He ain't got to worry about it shrinking. Ain't got to worry about it felting. And he'll get a lot of use out of it. I made him a hat last year. And he asked for another hat this year. He said because he done about wore that one out. So he wears them a lot to protect his head from the dirt and dust and the cold and sun as well. To keep him from burning. So he wears those little beanies and stuff. I make him a lot. So I have no problem with getting a nice red heart or a nice Caron or a nice Michael's brand, loops and threads, whatever color that he wants, and making him another hat because I know he's going to wear it, I know he's going to enjoy it, and I know he'll be able to take care of it. Now, for the ones that are 30% wool, the superwash wool, and you want to make sure that it says, I don't know if you can read it or not, machine washable. You want to make sure your wool is machine washable if you're making a gift for a family member that might not have the time nor inclination to hand wash a product and block it. Now, if it's for someone who's also a crafter and they know how to block, fine. Make it out of 100% wool, bamboo, alpaca, whatever it is you're going to make it out of. I wouldn't make it 100% alpaca because it has no memory. I will use a blend. You're going to use a blend if you're going to make a gift for somebody so that they don't, if they block it, it'll retain its shape. If you don't want to, unless, like I said, they have to know how to take care of the fiber. So, and if it's someone who doesn't have time to take care of the fiber, then you want to make sure you use a fiber that they don't have to worry about. They can just wash it with their regular colors. Don't have to worry about it felting or shrinking, or having to block that product. So, like I said, that scarf is basically $16, almost $17 worth of yarn for each scarf. Some people that say, well, oh, that's cheap. Really? That's cheap. Each of these scarves takes me, well, that's because I'm a really fast crocheter and I've been crocheting for over 30 years. So that's cheap, but you'll go and pay a lawyer $250 an hour who just passed the bar 3 years ago. But I've been crocheting for 30 years. But you're going to say that because I didn't use a $40 yarn, that's cheap. No, because if you add in my time, and back in the day, it used to be times 3.5. Your materials, the cost of your materials times 3.5 to give you a base price to charge. So $16.74 times 3.5. That is each of these scarves, and this should go up with inflation. Okay, with the times, that 3.5 should be more than what it is. It should be probably 6.5 by now. But people aren't going to pay me $100 for this scarf. Not the people I know. So you're looking at a scarf that's worth $58. So you're looking at an almost $60 scarf from my time, my expertise, and my ability to crank these out within 2 to 3 hours of just constant crochet. So if you had to pay for my time, then you're looking at a $100 scarf. Now, they don't want to pay a crafter $100 for a scarf. They don't care if you made it out of vicuna. They don't want to pay you, even though that vicuna is like $40 a half an ounce or some crap, or even more. They don't even want to pay you for the materials that you might purchase and use to make that product. They want you to basically give it to them for what? They can go to the store. They ain't going to find a crochet scarf in the store. They're going to find some machine knit in a factory, cheap material, something in the store. They'll go in the store and buy that little flimsy scarf made out of rayon and poly this and poly that. They'll pay $60, $70 for it simply because it has somebody's brand on it. They'll get it, they'll wear it, they'll wash it, and it'll fall apart. Then they'll fuss about wasting $60. But if they'd have paid me $60 for this scarf will last them 10 years or more if it's not like, you know, heavy everyday use type of thing. If it's like something that you're gonna be wearing every day, like my brother when he wears the hats to keep his hair from getting dirty and to stay warm in the winter, if it's something you're gonna be using 6-7 days a week, then no, normal wear and tear, he's lucky it lasted that long. And the reason why it's not lasting is because when he doesn't wash it by itself, he just throws it in with everything else, so it gets caught on stuff and snagged on stuff. And if he's outside and there's like he's on one of the open tractors and it's like branches and stuff, sometimes it snags on his hat, snags on stuff, you know. So no, a product that's being worn a lot is gonna have more wear and tear. Same thing go for shoes. There are men who do heavy equipment work and work outside in mud and dirt and gravel and stuff. They're gonna wear through their soles of their shoes and their boots and stuff a lot faster than someone who might go hiking on the weekends or every once in a while. Their shoes might last them 5 years, whereas that person that's out there every freaking day walking around on that stuff, the park ranger, he'd be lucky if his shoes last him 2 years. So think about that the next time you poo-poo somebody about that handmade, that price on that handmade item. And also think about the fact that you can't buy that in the store. You can't buy this crochet scarf in the store, not unless they got some little cottage industry in China and a bunch of women sitting there cranking them out to make them sell them to the store, and then they're paying these women 3 cents an hour. Yeah, I don't think so. So think about that next time you want to poo-poo somebody about how much they're charging for stuff. If it's made by the hands, then you need to expect to compensate that person accordingly for their knowledge, their time that they put into that product and their care, because they want you to have something that you're gonna be like, wow, I really love this scarf. It's well made, it's warm, it's easy for me to take care of, and it's holding up a lot better than anything I bought from the store. That is what you want that person to realize when they purchase your product, and then after they purchase your product, and then that person will be contacting you saying, hey, can you make me some more of that scarf like I bought from you? I want one for my sister. I want one for my son. I want one for my daughter. Because they tear them up or lose them, and at least if they know it was handmade, and they'll take better care of it, probably. Unless it depends on what they're going to be wearing it for, or at least you know they're more inclined to keep track of it. Then if they could just go to the store and get a machine knit hat for $3-4, their product, they could lose it the next day and wouldn't even care. But if they had to pay, it's not their money if they didn't buy it. If they bought it, they might care. But if they had to something that looked really nice, and is handmade, they're more apt to take better care of it. Maybe. Depends on your family members. Everybody's family members are different. Some revere your handmade, hand-gifted items. Some look at you like, why don't you just give me the money? It ain't about just giving you the money. You want money, go work, get you a job. It's about the thought and the care that went into this gift for you to help keep you warm in the winter months. There are a lot of people out there in this world wish they had a handmade scarf by Juanita to stay warm. Let me stop messing with y'all. But anyway, think about that when you want to purchase handmade gifts from someone. Think about the time that goes into that product. Think about the care that goes into every stitch to make sure it looks right, make sure it fits right. That person isn't making it to get rich. That person makes and sells their items because it's one of their talents. It's one of the things that they do. It brings in a little bit of extra money for them, and they want to share their abilities, and this is a way for them to do it by making items that you'll enjoy, and that you'll use and that you'll wear, and it's out there being worn and taken care of. So that's that. That's my thing for the day. So oh yeah, the other part of my video, was about why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free. It's about these people out there in all these relationships. They've been in relationships with the same person for 7 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years or more. In some states, that's considered your common law husband or wife, or common law partner. Now that they've passed a lot of the laws so that gay couples can be considered legal partners. So why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? And basically, if you don't buy the cow, you get the milk for free. You don't have to worry about the upkeep of the cow and that other stuff because everything for you is free. So if something happens to you, who's going to take care of your cow? Your family going to take care of the cow? Nope. Your family going to sell everything that has anything to do with that cow because they don't want to take care of the cow. Unless they love that cow like a son or daughter, they don't give a damn about what happens to that cow. You are dead, they give a damn about the things you own. They want everything. Even if the cow bought it, they don't care. They will try and get it hook or crook. Use the court system and the lawyers to exert their rights. You can have a bank account that you and the cow both equally deposit your paychecks in, but you die, they don't care because guess who the beneficiary? It ain't the cow because you never updated your banking information. The beneficiary is your mama, your brother, or your sister if your mama done died, or if you have children and they're the beneficiaries, not the cow whose paycheck is locked in your bank account. So what I'm saying is, get your house right. Protect that person you claim to love so much. If you have a joint checking and joint bank, if you have a bank account that you share, go to the bank, use an hour, and make it joint with that person who's putting their money in your bank account so that if anything happens to you, that person has access to their money so they can pay their bills, pay the mortgage, pay the rent, pay for your funeral, and everything else that they need to do with money that they've been putting into your bank account, your savings account that you got your mom and daddy name on and not that person. Make sure you have a will. You don't need a fancy will. You can have a simple will that protects that person as well, so that that person has lifetime rights to live at your property. That person gets possession of the vehicles that person's been helping you pay for. Protect the person. Get them put on the title of the vehicle. Do what you got to do to make sure that that person is protected. If they've been with you for 7, 10, 15 years, chances are y'all ain't planning on separating no time soon. And the fact that that person's been helping you get all these things, y'all been working together, unless that person don't work. Now, if that person don't work, they're still taking care of the house. And if you had to pay somebody to take care of the house, wash your clothes, cook your meals, take care of you when you're sick, you'll be spending $70,000 to $100,000 a year for a home, for a maid to do all these things for you and give you nookie. So you need to protect that person. All right. And make arrangements, even if this is in your simple will, draw up a contract, whatever you got to do to make sure that person's protected if something happens to you. Because you ain't promised tomorrow. But I bet you if you die tomorrow, all the vultures in your family going to swoop down with their hands out. And they're going to shove that person aside so fast it'll make your head spin if it's a dollar involved. Believe that. That's why I got my will. I don't have much. I got my yarn and stuff. But I need to make sure that if anything happened to me or if anything happened to my husband, that our children, who will be taking care of them and raising them after we're gone, and who will be taking care of our the house, the cars, the pets, the anything and everything. And basically what we said, we want everything that can be sold to be sold, and the money goes into trust for the 2 youngest ones, and because 25%, because it's 4 kids. It's also, if you have an odd number of children, then you might want to adopt somebody. So you split it 4 ways. So all 40 kids get 25% each. And the house is to be sold. Everything that can be sold is to be sold. My yarn, my fiber, my loom, my spinning wheels, everything's to be sold. All my spindles. I don't have any. The only jewelry I have are my wedding ring and my finger guards. That's the only jewelry I own. And I think I have a wrist bracelet that my friend Yeah, that my friend got for me. But it's packed up still from when we moved back into the house after the fire. So my finger guards to keep the yarn from rubbing my skin raw. I got these finger guards. And this was a spoon. This was an old spoon. And I'm not sure what she made this one out of. But they keep the yarn from rubbing my finger raw. They're finger guards. So a crafter would appreciate these versus just somebody wanting to wear them for jewelry. Because I use them for crafting. And then there's my class ring. So that's it. That's the extent of my jewelry. So I don't like wearing jewelry. I wear my rings simply because it says, "Hey, I'm married." This my class ring, and that's pretty much it. I don't like having stuff around my neck because I have reactions to stuff on my neck. And same thing. I don't like stuff on my. I only like wearing a watch because I don't like the back of the watches will always, from your sweating and stuff, always churn my skin, and then my skin end up getting a rash or sore under the watch after just a few hours of wearing it because I'm allergic to nickel, and a lot of that stuff has high nickel content. So I don't wear watches either. But that's just me taking care of, my personal, making sure my stuff is together so that if anything ever happened to me, then they don't have to worry about it. They know, okay, if it's something that you want to keep, fine, keep it. But other than that, everything's be sold. For our funerals, I want to be cremated because a funeral. Why would you pay for a car to put somebody in the ground? That's what you're basically doing. You buying a car, which is that coffin and that high price ass funeral to put somebody in the ground. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Your body gonna decompose anyway. So cremate me. Give me a nice urn. If I die first, hubby gets to hold on to me until he dies, and then you take us both to the Veteran Cemetery in North Carolina, and in my home county of Duke, and you can bury us there, or the family graveyard down in North Carolina. It's up to y'all where you gonna put the urns, but we would be cremated because I don't want nobody spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to put me in the ground to rot. No, thank you. No, thank you. Even if you were a millionaire, don't do it for me. So that's just what I want. That's just me. Magazine wise, I got my fall. I got it a couple of weeks ago, but I subscribed to the Ply magazine, and it's a spinners magazine, and I think JC Boggs. I want to say JC Boggs. Let me see. Yeah, she's a director-in-chief. The creative director is Kitten Boggs. The photographer, photo editor is Bernadette Emerson. The editorial board is Beth Smith and Jillian Marina. And then they have many contributing authors to the magazine. And the magazine consists of different fibers, spinning techniques, history, advertising, of course. But they also have some patterns using hand spun yarn, and they tell you where you can, if you want to use a particular yarns they use, fibers they use in the spinning, you can purchase it. They tell you where you can purchase the fiber to get a similar product. And I really like it. The photographer does a very, very, very nice job. The pictures are gorgeous. So I have the autumn edition and the summer edition. I thought I had 3 of them. I don't know what I did with it, the other one. I thought I had a winter edition. Maybe not. But, so yeah. So that's the only magazine I've gotten of late. As far as drawing, you guys saw I augmented my bag for large projects, my large project bag. But I finished it. So You guys can see that. If you would like one of these project bags, just let me know. And it's just a little canvas bag, and I used the ink tints to do the design on. So I figure what those hand sewn project bags can go for those project bags go for anywhere from $16 to some of them are up like $89, $100 for those real big handmade diaper craft bags type things. A lot of them are like 26. The little box ones are like 20. A lot of them, some of them are $26 for the smaller ones. The jumbo ones are $45. So for my little handmade one, I will to do the painting and stuff on it for you. I would just do probably $15 if you want one. So, and it would be, the design would be pretty much that design. I haven't done any other designs yet. So yeah. So if you want one, $15 and it's yours. Just contact me on my Etsy and let me know. Alright then, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm just talking now. I did do an Etsy update. More hand spun to the store. And so you guys can check that out as well.